Welcome, everyone. It is Friday the 13th once again. It is December 13th, 2013, and I am going to be talking to Jacqueline Seymour, who is not only a singer, but she also writes her own music. And we're going to start by asking Jacqueline, how'd you get started in this wonderful business of music? I'd like to hear that from you.
Absolutely, Andrea. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm feeling quite nicely in my nice warm home on a expected really bad storm we're going to get.
I know. I'm not looking forward to a blizzard.
Yeah, well, that's okay because we're having fun right now, and I'd love to hear about how you started. You have so much wonderful music, and I have a lot of DJ friends that I have known that have played your music in their clubs and not just around here, all over the world. I'm hearing from you. So,
yes.
How did you start off with this?
Sure. Basically, when I was little, I had a lot of illness. I had kidney reflux disease, and I was in and out of school a lot. I was in the hospital most of the time. Didn't really have a normal kid's life. Yeah, it was a rough time. No sympathy. No, you know what? It's water over my head. But anyway, as I got older, my way of coping with the illness was basically sitting down at a piano and doing basically freestyle songs. I would write original songs. They weren't anything great, when I was little, but
I know, but that you planted the seed in your head, and that's so important. So,
exactly.
It's a good thing for the audience to know, like, people that have children that have those thoughts, especially when they're overcoming illnesses. I think it's a great way of, getting through that is through music. It's very healing, and I'm glad that you found that in music because I think that's like a joy. One of the biggest joys through people that I know that use music for that. It's a big healing element.
Exactly, and not to mention sometimes when you're ill or you just you're very down from being ill. It's not always something you can just express to other people. People don't always understand, what you're going through. So the best way of having other people understand it, and sometimes just bringing it out of yourself for you yourself to have, is creating your own way of expression. Whether it's painting, whether it's song, whether it's
artistic
modeling.
Artistic, especially artisticness comes out in everyone. I think that's a wonderful thing. And let me ask you, so you started when you were young, and this helped you get through a lot of things, which I'm sure with your schooling it was very upsetting to your family because I'm sure very difficult to go through that when you're young, and you went through this your whole life, you said, right?
I did. It was very time consuming. I know it put a lot of stress on my parents. I had an older brother. Well, I have an older brother. I'm sure, it probably put a lot of stress even on him because, it was a lot of time taken away from him that between being in and out of the hospitals, there was more focus on me with my parents. And, it's got to be a hard thing to have a sick child. I have two healthy kids, so, I don't really know that. So
excuse me, can you tell me what their names are? And I want to hear a little bit about your wonderful kids and your wonderful husband.
Absolutely. I have a 13-year-old son named Jake, and he's an honor roll student. He actually just made it into a high school that he worked really hard for. And my daughter is 7. Her name is Sydney, and she features on my new upcoming pop piano album on my song Santa's Whisper.
Excuse me 1 minute, hon. Can you just tell the audience when is that album coming out, the date, so hopefully I can get this interview up in time and people can look out for that, and tell them how to find it as well.
Definitely. My new album is going to be called Pieces of Me, and it's an all original songs. It's 16 songs on it total. You can find them on December 19th. They'll be out right before Christmas. It's going to kind of be a Christmas special. And they'll be available on all digital sites. So that includes iTunes, Beatport, Amazon, anywhere you look, you can find it.
Excellent. Now, you said your daughter is she in the videos or she's in the album cover? What is exactly?
She actually sings a small part in my song Santa's Whisper, and incredibly enough,
how touching as a mother and daughter.
she's adorable in it too. I mean, it's just basically she sings a couple of lines. It's a Santa's Whisper, but she did help write the song too, which was really incredible. Because it was a couple of years back that we actually wrote it, and it was released as a single originally on iTunes, and now it's being made part of my album, and it's being released on Ecstasy Records.
Excellent, and that's the record label that you're dealing with right now, or at least one of them, because I know you've dealt with quite a few. Now,
yes, I have a couple going on right now. I'm actually releasing some songs with Divino Records, Ecstasy Records.
Wait a minute, can you say that again slowly so people can hear? Just because, when people hear this, I want them to understand the name so that they can look you up.
Absolutely. One of the labels I'm working with right now is Divino Records, and they're from Austria. And then another label that I'm working with is Ecstasy Records, and they are out of India. I've worked with numerous record labels such as Evo Records, which is in Italy. But there's so many different varieties of labels that I'm just having so much fun with.
But you know what? You're pretty international to be talking. You haven't even really said anybody from around here, which is amazing. So to me, I think that you're touching people from all over the world is a wonderful thing. And that is moving forward, girlfriend, because let me tell you, you have to have the confidence to be able to just get out there and do that, what you're doing, and it's a healing, agent for you, and to involve your daughter and to be comfortable in that lifestyle like that. So let me finish. So you were saying your daughter and your son. Now, what's your son's name?
My son's name is Jacob. We call him Jake.
Okay, and you were saying he just graduated.
He's going to be going into high school next year, and he got into a high school of his choice at early acceptance.
I know, because he's young.
Yeah, 13.
Jeez, God bless him.
He's actually one of the youngest in his grade, and he's extremely driven and smart and just very mature for his age.
That's awesome. Now, what about, your husband? Can you tell us about your wonderful husband? I know is like your support, your backbone. He's a wonderful guy from, our conversations that we've already had prior to this interview.
Definitely. He's my best friend to start, which is very important especially in the music business. If you don't have that close relationship as far as, a friend as well as a spouse, it's very tough. There's temptation, in music business. There's people that will try to get in the middle of you, and he's just been wonderful. He supports me. He knows that I deal with other men, but I keep it mutual, and I keep it very relaxed. I keep it professional, but yet I have a personality with the people I work with too.
Yeah, no, I know, because you're like me. We're happy, easy, good-lucky people, but people can't mistake in our kindness and easygoingness for a weakness, because we will just cut you right out, because otherwise we won't be moving forward, will we?
No.
And now let me ask you, so one important question, and I already planned on, asking you this, is, how do you come up with your lyrics, and what is it that you want to get out of your audience from listening to your music? Like, what is it that you want to project?
Absolutely. Well, in my dance songs, I actually do a variety. I do different genres of music. I do anything ranging from dance to pop to Celtic to jazz to rock to country, and hopefully salsa soon.
Yes, I know.
But you want to basically, with my music, what I want people to get out of it and how I pull my lyrics out is based on, I look at a song, and I look at a song like every song has a soul. Whether I'm the one producing it and making the composition of the song, as far as like writing it, producing it, and composing it, per se my pop songs, my pop Celtic songs, those are all original. Every one of them is just me, and just original.
You know what song's on right now? I don't know if you can hear it. I don't like to put them up too loud because I don't want to cut you out for this interview, because I have your music in the background one after another, and Just a Dream's on right now. And this song, I wish I was in a nightclub right now, dancing with you and everyone, and just having a great time, because that, I know, with me personally, brings out the best in me, and I feel like I'm in Miami right now. you know?
Exactly, yeah. I do have a video on YouTube for that. It's called Just a Dream, Jacqueline Seymour, and that's released on Evo Records. So if anyone wants to go check that out, they're more than welcome to.
Evo, and that's EVO, everybody, if you want to check that out. So yep. I'm looking at it right now, and this is awesome song. And I got to see the video, myself a while back, and it's a great video. And you want to just give the audience a little update on how you got the information and the set for that video. Explain to them a little secret of what was going on in that.
Absolutely. The idea of the song is basically it can be taken in different ways. It can be taken in the ways that you have a dream and you want to follow it, and you're basically a bird, flying free. And the words in it are very clearly, can be taken 2 different ways, 3 different ways. The way I was basically promoting it when we did the video, I came up kind of with a storyline where I'm sleeping and a dream turns into kind of a nightmare, almost an Alice in Wonderland feel to it. And I really wanted strong beats to it, basically, where everyone could kind of be really drawn into it. So I wanted pieces. I wanted a horse in there that was mystic. I wanted.
But what's the best part of the whole video? It was in the most comfortable place in the world for you.
To be honest with you, the best entire thing of the video was it was filmed on my mother's horse farm and my house.
That's amazing. I wanted you to let people know that because, you have such a comfortable life, and you're very lucky to have that. I mean, that's a big part of moving forward and to keep away negativity. And it's a lot easier when you're out in the suburbs like you are to be living that kind of a lifestyle. Because a lot of people, in the city, it's nice to have that limelight when you want to have it, but when you need peace in your head, it's better to have and not to have all the drama. And let me ask you. So, you were saying that your husband's a big part of the support. Your children, as far as the music you want to project to people, can you tell me what it is that you want them to see? And what to feel out of it?
Sure, absolutely. What I want people to see is basically that anything in your life, you can, even if it's a negative, whether it's a positive, you can turn into something wonderful. And you can, even a dream that you have, you can fulfill it. As long as you are driven enough and you have that love for what you're doing, you can go ahead as far as you want. And nobody can take that away from you. People can try to tear you apart. There's jealousy out there. There's people that are cruel. There's
no, I know. No, but no, I understand that. We're going to discuss in a little depth because I'm going to ask you what advice that you want to give to people. But I want to know what is it that with your fans, what is it that you want? You want these songs all have meaning behind them, and can you explain to them the reasoning? Why you came up with these lyrics, because I know that's so important to you in your life, and it helps you with your own life. And I want people to understand that. I think with musicians and a lot of people I interview, they tell me that, and it's so great to know that people use that as an outlet, and it's something that they're using for their lives and their business that they can make money at, but it's also helping them mentally, So,
it's something you have to love.
Yes, I know. That's definite.
Yes, as far as my pop songs and basically my pop album coming out, it's very different from the meaning of my dance songs. The pop album that's coming out is I based it on a lot of experiences that I experienced in my life. My song Ambrosia is very much about me growing up as a child, going through a lot of strategies, difficulties, and becoming who I am today. I have another song, Broken, which was an old relationship of mine. It was about being domestically abused by a spouse.
Excuse me, a lot of people out in the audience, and some people don't like to share that information, which thank you very much for sharing that, because, I appreciate and respect you for that, because it's, not something people really want to talk about. But people need to know out there that, you need to release yourself from that kind of anger and torment in yourself. And if you can do it in music, that's how you're moving forward. And, you know, to become successful from that is just, you know, excellent in a nutshell to, you know, have that journey for you. And I'm happy to hear that you can talk about that. Really, it's very comforting knowing that I'm interviewing someone who can express that, because people out there need to hear and need to understand that, especially if they're musicians, instead of writing angry songs, write about how you're dealing with it. And you know, let me just ask you, not to get off on, you know, a different note, but how do you write the music? Do you just like wake up and think about it, or do you have to think about it, or do you know, how is your best, you know, music written usually when it's, you know, after a situation? Or are you just thinking? Because I know everybody has their own way, and I like to just hear from all the musicians I talk to. I always ask them that.
Well, Andrea, it actually all varies. It's kind of interesting because sometimes I'll be asleep, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll kind of wake up, you know.
A lot of people tell me that. You're not the only one. Johnny Wilde from Blindside Thunder, I just interviewed a week and a half ago. He told me the same thing. I mean, there's so many people that I just think, because, you know, it's like deep penetration thoughts that, you know, when you just come out of sleep, it wakes you up, and then you're like, I got to write this down. I think that's awesome, because then that's, I think those make the best songs too, because it's true meaning behind it, even if it's, you know, in your second life or however you want to think about it, you know?
Exactly. And you know, I make people laugh because a lot of times I say it's almost like having ADD, and they say, what do you mean by that? And, you know, and I say, well, you know, when you can't sleep and your mind is going constantly, what are you going to do? You're going to get up. You're going to do something, you know.
To move forward, Jacqueline. You're going to do something to move forward like you are. And that's productive.
Exactly.
That's productive, and that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Definitely.
And the nice thing about it, I mean, there's a lot of, my husband actually sings in one of my songs. He sings in A Telltale Story, and it's a wedding song. I wrote it for a couple of friends of mine, and it turned out to be just a really fun, flowing, lovely song with his voice in it, too. That's also on my album. Unspoken was written about my son, and for anyone who's ever been bullied.
That's horrible. That's horrible. And we already discussed this prior to this interview about some things that you had going on in the school he was at. But you know what? You know, you got to stick up for yourself, and it does matter. But it's a horrible, horrible thing. And you know what?
It is.
He's so handsome, and he's so smart.
He's such a good kid too.
And you know what? And you go through this, and this is, you know, we can, you know, move forward a little bit here with the interview and say that, you know, as far as advice, if you want to be a part of the book that I'm writing and stuff, what would you want to tell people is the best advice? Because I know you deal with a lot of jealousy and intimidation in people, and it's not because of that you're a bad person. And like, you know, bullying with your son, it all has to do with these mean things. I mean, what is your best advice to people on how to dealing with these things? Because I deal with it myself, and it's a horrible feeling, especially when you're not that kind of a person that really no one deserves it no matter what. But how do you deal with that?
Well, jealousy is vicious. People are vicious. You know, some people, you just basically, you have to surround yourself with people like yourself, taking the words right out of your mouth.
No, but you know what? But when you have to sit in it and deal with it, and you have no choice to be around it, how are you going to, like, I want the audience, like, I always ask all of the interviewees, because I think that their advice can help a worldwide range of people, because everybody, you know, everybody's different. And, you know, I interview all kinds of people, from, you know, recording artists to models to people that are CEOs of companies, different, you know, backgrounds. And, you know, some way is going to help somebody that doesn't help from another way. I mean, because that's why I'm writing this book. I want people to know there is help. And like, if you feel that you're right about something, as long as you're not hurting yourself or someone else, you need to know that it's okay to do what you want to do and believe in yourself, even if no one around you is like believing in you. You have to stand up for yourself. And, you know, so can you tell me, like, well, first of all, tell me how your son dealt with that he got out of that.
My son, he would come home and talk to us. A lot of kids, you know, a lot of parents aren't lucky enough to have kids actually come home and confide in them. Our son did. And we basically helped him. We put him in karate. We taught him to defend himself only in a life-threatening manner. We taught him to stick up for himself and use his words to people and say, enough of this. I'm not going to let you tear me down like this. I know who I am as a person, and maybe I can help you in a certain way. But there's always a way around people like that. I've dealt with it even in family, and the way I've dealt with it in family is basically I've stuck up for myself. But
good for you. I've dealt with it myself, and it's horrible. Especially they tell you there's something wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with me.
Exactly.
I'm the same person. But you know what, Jacqueline? When you're succeeding and growing in life, and people that our family especially need to be your support, and when you don't feel that support, it's a horrible feeling. But you can't change the way they're acting. But you don't have to put up with it either.
Right, exactly.
So what did you? So what? It's finished. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
So what did he end up doing? He did the things you were telling him, but I mean, how did he get away from it all?
He ended up. I don't know if it was something. In his circumstances, it was a little different. At one point, he was cornered in the bathroom, and he was pushed against a wall to the degree where it actually became physical.
Oh, lovely.
And he actually used one of his karate moves to restrain the child without putting his hands physically, like punching him or anything.
Wow, good
so
for him.
Yeah, and he said to him, he says, "This is your only warning. Leave me alone." And it wasn't quite a threat, but it was enough to tell the kid, look, I'm not going to tolerate it. No teachers are doing anything about it, but this is what I'm going to do about it.
Well, you know what? I mean, there's a lot of violence out in the world today. We see it on the news with, shootings in schools and different things. And some of these kids that are bullied get to the point where they're so aggravated and no one, which shame on the teachers and the principals. I know, like, they have boundaries, but when the kids just can't take it anymore, then they'll go to other levels of, but like I was just saying, some people will resort to physically or even shooting and doing that. So these kids do this because they've been bullied, and it's a shame, and they get in trouble for it, and then they end up killing themselves. I mean, it's horrible.
Exactly.
It's horrible.
It's so sad to watch, too. I mean, there's so many kids out there that, the parents, they're busy with their work, they're busy with, it's not...
they're busy paying bills, and they need to cut the taxes down so we can have a little easier life. Now, as far as... Well, that's a great way of resolving that. I'm glad to hear that. Now, about yourself, how do you deal with it? Because we know you deal with what I've been dealing with, too, and it's not cool.
I deal with a lot of it.
So, what do you do?
Sure. What I do, basically, is I take whatever I'm feeling. If I can't talk about it, if I take something, say, that's gone wrong, if I've lost a friend over a jealousy matter, or if I've lost a friend over, something where they just don't approve of a song I'm writing, or even a family member.
But you know something? They don't have any right to tell you what to be doing. That's actually abusive for them to be bullying you, like telling you what you need to be doing.
That's true.
Period.
Very true. So,
I'm sorry. I'm very against that. Not cool.
Yeah, me too. And I completely agree with you, Andrea, on that. And I think people need to learn to just,
accept you for who you are. Accept you for who you are. Period.
Exactly. Move forward, too. And take everything.
Move forward. You can't move forward if you let them take you down. And it's hard because, especially when it involves people that are close to you, especially family, it's hard to push that away, and it's very hurtful, but you can't, it's not your fault. Sometimes it's a reflection of themselves, so the reason why they act that. They're not happy with themselves, but you can't change them. I mean, so you just, try to make it into a positive? Is that what you were?
I use it for motivation.
Yes.
I use it, I swallow a lot of what I'm feeling, and I put it, instead of getting angry and even, like a lot of people will do, like you were just talking about.
Yeah, well,
I take
it doesn't pay off. It doesn't pay off that way. It's just, and then it takes, and actually, if in your career, especially because you're so beautiful, excuse me, you're beautiful inside and out, and when you're trying to project what you're doing, and this situation's going on, it's going to take away from what you're doing.
It is. And see, another thing I have trouble with too is I've been through so much illness. I've had alopecia where I've completely lost all of my hair. I've been through kidney reflux. I've been through
kidney stones.
Oh yeah, you name it. Probably, I've probably experienced it.
Well, there's always hair extensions and wigs, honey. You're so pretty that even if you had no hair, you'd still be beautiful, and you're still gonna. But you know what? That's not gonna take away from your awesome music that makes people move.
Thank you.
Seriously, I mean, think about that.
So yeah, so I mean, honestly, my best answer to people would be, do your thing. Don't let other people get in your way, because everyone has one life to live, literally, and if you don't live it the way you want to, then what is the point of being, who you are?
Exactly, and then life is over, and then who cares?
Right.
Not
exactly.
saying it really, but I tell people this all the time. Listen, once you're dead, no one cares at that point. They'll go to your funeral, not that they don't care, but they go. You're always living for everybody else and not living for yourself, and if they really love you, they're not going to be against what you're doing or to throw things in your face, and if they need help with something, they need to go get the help instead of trying to reflect bad things on you. I just try to separate myself and, not be around people that are like that. And I've had very successful people tell me that, Jacqueline, that you need to be.
That's very true.
It's it's hard sometimes when you have to deal with them on a regular basis, but, and it's not the way I want things, but you can't change people. And you'll turn blue over it, and you're not going to move forward in what you're trying to do. So thank you for that piece of advice. So if you want to be a part of the book, I will definitely make sure that that's put in there. Because it's very important, and about your son, because I think it's very, very important for people to know how to deal with these things, because you can't let it go, because you can get very hurt physically or mentally, and it's not healthy, period.
And that's a big thing, too. I wanted to add in, too. When I do my music, when I pick the genres that I do, the reason I choose to do such a variety of genres is because when you just stick to one, you're really not doing what you love. You can listen to one song on the radio, love it, then you can change to another station and actually love another song that's a completely different style. So when you're taking different types of music, different styles, rock, Celtic, anything, pop, ballads.
Is there anything that you don't like as far as
really,
music?
No, I leave myself open to a lot of experiencing different music. I grew up Minnelli. I grew up to Liza Minnelli.
Okay, so that's like, who do you idolize, like, in your life? You would say Liza Minnelli.
Who I really idolize, to be honest with you, it wouldn't be her, but it would be Celine Dion. I love her style. I think she's classy. I think she doesn't have to take her clothes off to get noticed. You know what I mean? As far as like in the music business.
Exactly.
So like you take some of the celebrities in the music business now, the art industry now with music, and when they lose the attention on them, they're taking the clothes off one by one to gain the focus back on them. And I think if you really have a message for people, I think you can still stay true to who you are.
Exactly. I agree.
And
you don't have to, in the music industry especially, and we don't have to get into any particular story here, because I know a lot of stories from a lot of people that are true of what they've had to go through in the music industry, and as well, people yourself, that people will try to put them in situations to say, I'm going to make this record happen for you if you're with me. And you know what? It's,
I've been there.
Yeah, I know. Just you need to. And we don't have to get into like names and stuff because that's not what the show's about. It's about moving forward, and you've moved forward from that. But one thing, and I know because we discussed that, is prior, and I'm not going to talk about it publicly, is that you can't let that go, and you need to address things like that, because then you feel like you have that thorn on your side, and then you can't move forward with your career because of threats that, which is crazy.
You need to nip it in the bud while it's going on. In other words, if someone says something to you along the lines of, look, your career's not going to go any further unless you do this, or, unless you think basically that, you're not going to be sleeping with producers or whatever, that's not true. What you need to really say is...
Exactly.
Yeah, you need to say to them, look, I am who I am. I'm not going to change who I am because you're telling me I'm not going to make it. What you need to say to them basically is, I'm going to make it. Whether you think this of me, whether you slander my name, whether you do this.
And have a good attorney, too.
Right. Yeah, exactly. People are going to get to know me for me.
Exactly.
And if they don't like me, then it wasn't meant to be. If you're doing what you love, and you're really doing what you love, then it's not going to matter how far you go, what you do with it, or anything else. What it's going to matter is people are going to want to work with you no matter what, because they're going to see that what you're doing shines through to what
exactly.
you're doing.
You're shining like a diamond in the sky, as Rihanna would say.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
and I think it's very important to, if anybody, and I tell this to people all the time because people like inbox me on my Facebook and they're like, oh my God, Andrea, you're so inspiring. People I don't even really know, and they're like, you know, because I try to like, you know, put some great quotes and inspirational quotes on, you know, when I can about not putting up with anybody's crap. And I mean, it's hard sometimes, but you know, you need to, if somebody's trying to take away your shine, you have to put the blinders on and you have to keep on going. Like you said, it makes you want to do better. And I'm the same way. And I had a photographer, and I won't mention names, that I was working with, say to me, well, is that what has to happen for you to do your best? I'm like, no, I'm always doing my best.
Exactly.
But
if you don't put your all into it.
But I turn that negative into a positive is what I'm telling you. And I told him that, like, in other words, you know, and that's the point. That's the point. And people out there need to know. So, you know, people out in the audience, you need to know that that's the whole point of our conversation right now, Jacqueline and I's conversation, is that, you know, you don't have to put up with that. Now, let me just ask you, this is kind of an odd question, but I mean, what if you weren't as attractive as you were and you weren't attractive? Do you think that you would still have those problems in the music industry? Do you think these guys? Do you think that it doesn't matter? It's just
it doesn't. What matters is when some people choose not to go ahead with their dreams. Some people don't have the choice financially. You know, they have to work 24/7, and they don't have the option. You know, I feel for a lot of those people. I do have. You know, I've had to work also while I'm doing this. At the same time, you know, most recently, since I've made a little bit of money, I won't say a lot because I haven't. You know, I don't like to lie. But since I made a little bit of money off the songs and things like this from my downloads, you know, my husband's been working and been my supporter, and I've been a lot more in the studio. So I can't do my makeup artistry. I can't do, you know, other things that I was doing beforehand.
Is that what you did in the past to keep things going? You're a makeup artist?
I did, yeah. I was actually an esthetician / makeup artist.
Excellent. Well, I mean, and you look like that type of a person. I mean, you are a beautiful girl, and I'm telling you right now, you just keep on your focus. You're welcome the way you are, and you're going to keep on making it. And the big thing that I love about you is that you're all over the place. You're all over the world. And you keep on trying, and every time I talk to you, you're going into the studio and you're working hard, and you know, and people out there need to understand, and you know as well as I do, anything in life that's going to be worth it is hard work.
Oh, it's not easy. Oh,
it is hard work, and you cannot let people take advantage. You got to protect you got to protect your name. You got to make sure you're trademarked. You got to do all the right things.
Exactly.
Because people will. I mean, I had recently someone just
take advantage.
Well, someone's trying to copy my show and different things, and you know what? No matter what, they can never be me. I just pick up the phone and I talk to someone, interview. I don't even need notes. It's in my blood. I love what I do. I love bringing out the best in people. I love to see them rise to the top. And, and I hope to God, that you collaborate with some people that I was talking to you about discussing with, collaborating with, that I'm going to be interviewing, because I think it's so great to...
Oh, I think we're going to make it happen. Definitely.
Yeah, I think, and then I'll interview you both on a day. That'll be awesome.
Definitely.
I just think that would just be so as far as now that we're getting towards the end of the interview, so tell me, what are your future goals that you want to see to make you, pursue to move forward? What is it that you want?
Definitely. I want music to take me as far as it will, and I feel that music chose me, first of all, and, I love it, but I definitely feel it chose me, and that gives me such a drive because it's in me. Like when you asked me about pulling lyrics, where do I get my lyrics from? I pull my lyrics from each song because each song literally has a heartbeat. They have a soul, and you're going to be.
You know what? And I love when I know the words to a song, and everyone knows this in the whole world. We know it gets in our head, and we love the beat, and that's why I like music like this, because it gets in my head, and anything that's upbeat. I'm an upbeat person, so music. You know what I mean? It gets in your head, and then when you can hear the story in your head, and it has a story, and it's not just the same verse. It's, to me, that is much more advanced and my attention's gotten, as far as I'm concerned. You know, everybody's different, and that's why, you know, as far as what I'm doing with this show moving forward with Andrea, I interview all kinds of people, and I want insights from all different kinds of people because I want to be able to touch a lot of different people because everybody's different, you know? Everybody has different ways, you know, and you want to go as far as you can with music. And,
and basically, my song "Break These Chains," which is a really, really great dance song. You can find that.
I know. I just listened to it earlier.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's actually with Branding Avatar LLC in LA right now. It's with some marketers, so they are marketing it around, distributing it.
Well, let me ask you, not to interrupt, but let me ask you. So. Sure. You know, because you have all these different things everywhere, and I know because I'm on Reverb Nation right now, and I've had your music in the background so that we can hear your wonderful songs while we're interviewing. And I want you to tell people how to get a hold of you so, you know, you don't have to, like, keep on saying each individual to try to, different, you know, DJs, and you know what I mean? It's easy to just, they can go on here and see 30 songs, right?
Definitely.
This is a better way that I just want to bring out the best in you for them to be able to, you know, get a hold of you. So how is that to go on there? What is the website? Can you please tell us?
I have a couple of websites. I'm available on Facebook. My fan page is Jacqueline Seymour Sheep with Wings in quotations. You can Google my name, Jacqueline Seymour, and I have a ton of websites that will pop up.
Awesome.
My songs are available on iTunes. Many of my songs, a lot more coming out. And also www.reverbnation, that's REVERBNATION, nation.com/Jacqueline Seymour. And I actually have quite a few sites. I'm on SoundCloud for those musicians, you guys out there, DJs, any of you that are interested in my music and using it for for DJing events.
Well, you know, I've touched you with a lot of DJs already because I know a lot of DJs, and I know that they'd love to play your music, especially when the night is in the middle of the happening of the night.
Definitely.
And, you know, my favorite song that I've heard is the Written in the Stars. I love that song.
That song, that's one of my new favorites, too, and I think it's because if you listen to the words, there's two meanings to that one, too, and I try to keep songs where there's two meanings, where people can relate on their own. That song, it can be based on love, or it can be based on someone who's passed away. Somebody, you know, where their love is still strong.
Yeah, but it's all in a good note. It's therapeutic for getting through something that wasn't good. Your positive energy at the end, and that's what I love about your songs, is that you have that positive, you know, energy that's coming out of the end of it, so that hopefully, you know, people that really do feel music are going to feel that no matter what.
As far as my strongest verse song with lyrics, I would have to say my dance songs. It would have to be Break These Chains, because it's about...
Yeah, we just heard it a few minutes ago. It was just on. We'll listen to Upon a Time, but we were just listening to that a few songs ago.
Yeah, and it's about overcoming anything in your life, and you're breaking those chains, like you and I were talking about.
Yeah.
You're just breaking through, and you're going for it. You're just
moving to the next level,
Absolutely. And I guess my goal for moving forward in the future is I want to start performing live, big shows, clubs. I want to be given the opportunity to really put my voice out there live.
I want to go.
Definitely. You'll be in. You'll get a free ticket.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, I think the best way to get it really heard and people to really get an idea and feel for who I actually am, because when I'm on stage, that's not an act. That's really me. That's my upbeat personality. I have friends that go all the way back to high school that I'm still friends with now, that, you know, are such big supporters and good people, because they know.
Well, I'm glad they didn't turn on you. You know what I mean. And I'm sure there was a few. It was just, I'm glad that you didn't deal with all that, because the more famous you get, and I've been told by pretty famous people, within the last year that it does get worse. So you do have to grow that thick skin, girlfriend, and don't you worry, because all the good people will be left on the sidelines, being there as a cheerleader for you, and the rest of them, don't worry about it, because it's just the way it is. You got to just get through it.
I have to give a quick shout out to my neighbor. She's one of my biggest fans. Gina. Yeah, so she's awesome. She's been one of my biggest fans. My friend Mindy, Judy, Bobby, you, just a ton of people. Manu, my husband, my kids, and just
You're so
everybody
sweet.
around
You're
me.
so sweet. You're the first person that wanted to do shout out. Well, actually, I mean, I had someone want to shout out to their mom, but as far as like to the whole, no, I'm happy. That's really sweet of you, and I hope they listen to the interview and they make sure they hit a thumbs up on it, so you get all that acknowledgement and you get people drawn to this interview for you, because this is not just for me; it's for you too, hon. You know.
Definitely.
Now,
definitely.
we're going to end the interview, and I wanted to, thank you for being on my show. You're a pleasure, and I wanted to know, is there anything else that you have to say?
Basically, to everyone out there, all my fans, all my friends, my family, I love you all, whether you support me or not. And it's really, I'm making my dream happen, and I hope to take all of you with me.
Oh, you're so sweet. You just gave me the chills. Huh? That's so sweet.
That's honestly from the bottom of my heart. I don't hold anything against anyone.
Well, thank you so much for your time. You're really a pleasure, and I am looking forward to seeing you move forward and interviewing you in the future with collaborations with people we discussed, and with you yourself, and especially if something that we discussed happens and you start venturing out doing some big concerts. I definitely want to be a part of that with you and interview you at the concert. It'll be awesome. I really, really appreciate people that are like you, that really are trying their hardest and are doing a lot of it on their own, because it's tough out there. And, you need to get the hard work in there before you make the money. And it's unless you have a silver spoon in your mouth, it's a lot of hard work out there, folks. So don't give up, and always try to live your dream, and, don't let anybody get in your way and let them drain your energy. Just put the energy into the hard work and get your rest,
Exactly, and remember that there's only one life that we're all living, and make it your best.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you too, Andrea. It was really a pleasure.
Oh, thank you.